Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday Tirade. And again, StreamYard is letting me down. I apologize. It looks like next week we will be moving permanently to just OBS streams, which means I'll have to reconfigure everything on my end, but it'll probably be worthwhile. We have 7 of you here early, which I appreciate. Thank you very much. We've got Canadian Spiderman, Krusty Mocha. We've got a Louvrian in the car. We've got Dave Myers. What's up, Dave? We've got D. Bud Martin, Keely Chow, and Jay Allman. Mr. Dragon is here, and many of you that are just dropping in. So I appreciate your support, and I am a bit under the weather, so we will probably just do an hour at most likely. But that's okay. There's not a terrible lot to cover if you don't want to rehash the stuff that's going on with certain parties right now. When it comes to, of course, Disney and the actresses, they're very unhappy with them. I sound like I'm at the bottom of a barrel. Let's see if we can fix that.
Wow. StreamYard completely reset on me. That should sound much better. Do I sound much better? All right. Anyway, Tina Bojan has joined us. Matt G is here promoting everyone. Thank you for that. OC Dobbins says better. And everybody's yay. Okay, well, now I sound like myself. Actually, that was actually from the overhead camera that I have set up for pretty soon for pen and paper or pencil and paper games, dice games, Magic, The Gathering, card games, stuff like that. Because I have a green mat actually that I have right below me that's going to be an animated play space when I do those kinds of things. So it's going to be kind of cool. So, but with that, there are 12 of you in the chat. We'll get started, of course. Lots to cover. We all know what Hollywood is having difficulties with right now, and that's with actually making money on their productions. Most of the films right now that are profitable are in the horror genre. That's not anything new. The horror genre films make a ton of money. They do very well. They don't require a huge budget, and they're a lot of fun, and you have a very dedicated fan base for a horror film. What you don't have is a lot of money, a lot of amortization, stuff like that. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, and one of them is, or a couple of them are about to come out in the near future. There are a second and third film being made based on The Exorcist, I believe, maybe even a trilogy if everything is to be believed. And if that's the case, they're spending about $100 million plus on each one of those films. That's a lot of money to spend on a horror film. And it sets a horror film up to be a failure for probably the first time. Now, lots of money is hidden in films. It's hidden in various ways and for various reasons. Hollywood bookkeeping is notorious for hiding costs of other films, hiding failures of other films. But right now, there's a lot of failures out there. We've got a lot of those. Let's see. Yeah, low spec Linux laptop, I would. One of the problems with using OBS or just straight OBS is guess. I don't know how to handle guess in that circumstance. If that makes any sense. So what's going on, Runner? Good to see you, buddy. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, not many of these films are making money. And of course, people in here have already said in the chat, in fact, it was a Louvrian Imakara who stated, let me see if I can highlight it. There we go. Solo lost money. Well, right now, there are no films making money. Well, I take that back. It could be argued that Godzilla versus Kong was a profitable film. It could also be argued that the Fast Saga film that just finished its run internationally and is finishing up here in the United States is a profitable film. But you also have a lot of other films that have come out that aren't. You had, of course, Mulan, which did not earn that much money. In fact, it probably didn't pay back its promotional budget. It was the first Disney Plus Premier Access film, and you notice we got no insight into how it performed. The things that they are trying to tell us are that there are films that are like that are going to make money. Well, Jungle Cruise, they came out and said it made $30 million in Disney Plus Premier Access last weekend. The film itself made $34 million plus in its opening weekend, and it made another $27 million internationally. So split between the domestic and the international box office. Obviously, the Jungle Cruise was more popular in the United States. The film also didn't get a China release, and if you notice, they're trying to, or they have been trying to support these giant budgeted films with the I guess the box office that you get out of China to support the films with these huge budgets. You're seeing a 50% oftentimes of the market or more be from a China box office, and none of these films are getting that right now. Let's see. I guess it's not that hard. People use it, but okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Talking about washing clothes there. Yes, the different kind of laundry, my friend. Oh, and our friend PJ's here. What's going on, PJ? Guys, check out Overall Nation for dark matter and other amazing stuff, including, obviously, the Orville. So check that out. Great channel, great friend, good guy. I grabbed my, I grabbed from Discord to put my podcast. Oh, okay. All right, then that's what I'll do. I'll work inside a Discord in the future. I can do that. Jungle Cruise is expected to make 60 million. I think it made 30 million. So this was another disaster for the Bobs. Yes. Well, but it was a predictable disaster. It made, according to them, $92 million in its opening weekend. If you include all the numbers that we just talked about, 34 plus 27 plus 30 plus on Disney Plus Premier Access. We aren't getting second week numbers on Disney Plus Premier Access because they're obviously nothing to write home about and won't contribute to the overall box office success. We just got done with yeah, I'll work it out, Pickles. I'll get it together. But they obviously weren't prepared to lose as much money as they're going to lose on this. This is another $200 million film in Jungle Cruise that is going to dramatically underperform. And since we got some insight into Black Widow and how much money they were into that film, which is an estimated $316 million before it saw $1 at the box office. How long until they make a profit on that film? Maybe on Blu-ray sales they'll start to turn things around. Because honestly, they've eliminated the opportunity to earn additional funds. Jungle Cruise is the same way. $200 million. You could probably add another 120 in there for promotion, ancillary distribution costs, et cetera, et cetera. Insane. And although it didn't get as much of a promotional push as you would have anticipated or expected from a major Disney release, especially with someone like The Rock and with an actress like Emily Blunt. I don't know. So we've now seen consecutive flops for Disney with Black Widow and with Jungle Cruise. And if you go back a little bit farther, you could say there were 3, because a lot of people want to point towards Onward, which honestly did pretty well for what that film cost and for the 3 or 4 weeks it actually was in theaters before things got shut down. But it is what it is. So let's look forward at some other additional potential flops. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Aside from Jungle Cruise, are there any films you think that are on the horizon that will be successful? Oh, wait. Yeah, a good disaster, absolutely. We've got Jungle Cruise sank like one of the real boats on the ride. Well, I think you're right. Yeah, and that did happen not too long ago, right before they went through the remodel process and destroyed the last or one of the last attractions Walt had an actual hand in. Let's see. Rick Roll is culture. No, this is not a singing stream today. I barely have a voice. Oh no, absolutely, Biggles. We'll definitely get that together. Yeah, I played around with OBS and streaming straight out of OBS early on before I was dinking around with StreamYard, but I just like the convenience of StreamYard for guests. So, Jungle Cruise is an okay movie, but due to all the crap they fed us in the past, it does bad. Yeah, but there was, and I knew this going in, that there would be some intersectional stuff in here. Oh, I'm definitely freezing up, my friends. In fact, I'm going to do this and take myself off camera, which I know is less stimulating because you don't get to see my hair, but it immediately cleans up the stream. So, hey, what's going on there, Stone Cold Jeremy? Good to see you. Venom and Ghostbusters will be successful, in my opinion. Everyone is happy for them. That's 100% accurate. I mean, upcoming films are few and far between that have, I guess, overwhelming positive buzz. The films like Jungle Cruise, had a ho-hum response from the audiences. You have films like Free Guy that everybody is looking forward to seeing. It doesn't have it doesn't have a giant budget. According to the reviewers, the film is in a position where it will make you feel like you're more in reality, even though it's supposed to be inside of a video game, than Jungle Cruise did. At least that was some commentary from our buddy Scotty Boy Mendelson and a few others. Let's see. Yep, Ghostbusters Afterlife will be a success. I believe that's true. The Marvel's schedule for the rest of the year is going to flop. Well, I agree with that to an extent, but I think Spiderman will do fine. I'm not sure it's going to be the $1 billion winner that everybody thinks it is, but maybe. And if so, I hope so, because that's a success for Sony as much as it is for Marvel. Same thing with Venom. I think Venom is going to do quite well. Iluvri and Makara says, I can't say I'm looking forward to anything but Ghostbusters, which I completely understand. And I'm cautiously optimistic about it too. But I think Free Guy is probably one of those that we can look forward to. I think that, let's start calling out the flops. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is going to flop a lot, not just a little bit. It's going to be very poorly received. Hey, Nikki D. Yeah, I think that film will get closest to $1 billion. I think that's true. The Spider-Man film, yes, I believe it will be more than a little bit successful. So my concern, and this is always my concern with these films, is that they overcome expectations and they get rewatchability. And that's a thing that all these new films, they don't have. Nobody's name for me, if you can, a film that was released in the last 2.5 years. I'm going to be fair, give you 2019, that you want to repeat view. You want to go back to a theater and see in the last 2.5 years. So let's erase 2020 from our mind and look at 2019 and the balance of this year so far. And I think that you'll be hard pressed to find anything that you would want to see again. And I'd be interested if you guys can answer that one. It would be, I would be interested in what you have to say about it. I really want Dune to do well. I do. It is a film that deserves to be theatrically released. It is releasing wide on October 22nd. I would prefer it not make its way to HBO Max, but it is. It's getting released simultaneously. It's going to have a difficult time overcoming a $165 million budget because that's what it cost. And in turning a profit, because it's going to need to make over $480 million to be profitable, or right in that ballpark, maybe 450. Oh, you're bitching about Venom. I can't wait. I love Venom. It looked really good to me. I thought the trailer was exceptional. The Eternals will make $2 billion easy. Yes, Dave. Sure. Write that down, guys. Dave Meyer says the Eternals film, the one that is most likely to be the biggest flop of the Marvel universe. Dave is going the other way with that, and I'm pretty sure he's being facetious. Yeah, D-Bud Martin. I went to Disneyland multiple times per year for pretty much my entire life up until like the last couple 3 years maybe, and for a variety of reasons. And of course I did Disney World in Florida on the regular as well. Yeah, I mean, there, as a child I was there at least twice a year, maybe more often. I saw Jungle Cruise. It was a 4 of 10 for me. An okay movie, but one, this double standard with the removal of the natives and the animatronics. That's right. But also appears the gender swap Trader Sam. Yeah. Doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. The film was going to be intersectional. We knew it. I was hoping it would be more of a romancing the stone kind of film. And there were elements of that, but it is what it is. What's up, Brightest Day? What I was trying to say about Jungle Cruise is that what they put in there, I didn't feel like they were lecturing me. Still annoyed the hell out of me. Yeah, no, absolutely, Kitty Bear. You're right. Yep, they weren't lecturing you or us. They were giving us the intersectional garbage that goes along with it. Isn't the other two Marvel films on the verge of being delayed? Something I heard. Plus, they're both banned in China, so another flop for Marvel. Oh, they're both going to flop. Neither of them will appear in, and that's the thing. Black Widow is not in China. They lost out on 50. They could have earned twice as much money if it was in China. Still wasn't going to give Scarlett Jo her ScarJo her bonus that she was looking for, but it is what it is. Shang-Chi Choi's aren't even moving at $7 on clearance at my local big box. Holy cow. Really? Oh, there we go. Ford versus Ferrari. There's another film that people might go back to the theater to see. I don't know. It's a great film. I agree with you guys. 2019 counts Shazam. Okay. It is a pretty good movie. It was very well done. I love Cargs and was pleasantly surprised about Ford v Ferrari. It was a good movie. Absolutely. $2 billion. Yeah. Dune and Spiderman. I'm looking forward to, depending if it doesn't go woke, but I'll wait and see. And you know what? I don't think Sony's going to do that to a property that they have control over. We'll know more. I mean, with Rothman getting a new deal, we'll see what the future holds at Sony. Suicide Squad, Candyman, Don't Breathe, Venom, Ghostbusters, Protege. Maybe a kids movie. That's it for what I can say. Some that can make some money for the rest of the year. I agree with you on Candyman, Venom, Ghostbusters, and Protege. I agree with those. Dune probably can break even. I hope it does, because I want to see the second part of the film. I'll be very disappointed if we don't. Yeah, my grandfather would be devastated, I think, but that's my opinion. Oh no, Karen Prime. Oh, well, good news that you're home. Bad news that you're dealing with that. Prayers for you and your family. That can be no fun. Joker and John Wick 3. Was Joker 2019? John Wick 3, I agree 100%. It's freaking awesome. Alita Battle Angel was awesome, but not a 2019 film. We have Yeti Cast. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. And Tom is joining us. Hey, Tom, how are you doing, buddy?
I had ridden all the way here.
Oh. Okay, well, don't have a heart attack on the air.
It took me all night to get here.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad.
I had to run.
You're right. You did a good job. Okay.
I made it.
Okay. All right. You get a sip of water. We're good. I had asked the chat. I'll ask you. What films do you think are going to actually make money this year? Because I mean, the summer flop fest is kicked off in a big way. What films do you see as earning money going forward? What do you think?
Well, I mean, Quiet Place 2 did all right. I'm sure Fast and the Furious will end up making a little bit of money. Ghostbusters has a good chance. I think the Suicide Squad is going to surprise some people.
You think so?
And I don't know what the budget was on that, and I highly doubt it was very high. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of buzz about it. And a lot of people who've seen it both in and out of the fandom, are really they like it. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, so far internationally, it turned in some money. In its openings. Jungle Cruise and it were competing head to head in some international markets.
Jungle Cruise is dead.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's a real shame. I mean, again, I had high hopes for that film.
Did you see it?
I have seen the Cliff's Notes version of it.
And
it was clear there was some intersectional stuff in it. It overused CGI. The story was familiar in 1,000 different ways because it stole from a lot of other properties.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. I mean, I could go on and on, but I'd be more pedantic than necessary. So, but it is I don't know. It like I said, it's disappointing and a shame. That's what I have to say about that. I'm trying to look for the full financials on Suicide Squad, and I don't have them, which is weird. Normally, I have all of them.
I mean, if anything, what's going to hurt Suicide Squad is it being on HBO Max. Really, let's be frank.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem with a lot of these, is that they are getting simultaneous release day and date, and when you have, at least with Disney, they're charging for it. With HBO Max, they're not, and that creates some havoc, in my opinion. So it means it's going to earn less money. It's still not going to make. It still isn't going to. I will be happy if something makes money, but so far Disney has a slate of losers in front of them, because I mean, I want anybody to try to argue and tell me that Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings is going to make money.
It might. Here's the thing. It might actually do okay for Disney because of the premium shit. But I really don't think, and we've had this conversation. I don't really think that they're understanding how they're cutting off their face to despite themselves by doing that. Sure, they get a quick injection of cash up front that they don't have to share with the theaters, but yeah.
Well, and
that's
that's
the long run.
Yeah, and that's what they're now terming, the term they're using now to describe that's called pulling income forward or pulling revenue forward. And it goes against the model that's worked and made them a boatload of money with selling something the 4 or 5 times that they do it. Well, the 5 times or 6 times that they do it now. So it's a problem. I mean, in industry insiders, film financiers, analysts, they're all arriving at the same conclusion you and I arrived at, is that right? We had arrived at over a year ago, year and a half ago, when all this stuff started to come to the forefront. So I don't know. Mr. Trickle Trunk gives us a super sticker. It's a Shiba Inu fart and hearts. Thank you very much, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Appreciate you. Let's see. It was 2019. Oh, Captain Wham, and I did not know that, but I did enjoy Alita. I thought it was really good. Let's see. I actually saw the first Suicide Squad trailer, so I might have to check it out. I'm looking forward to something good. So if it's a good film, I'm very excited. Hey, Sour Monkey, good to see you. Monkey Jeebus is in the house. Says I saw it. Cool. We've got Keck 44. Culture. The only thing actually making money is the money press. Everything else earns money. Oh, that's true. And right now, we've got presses making money around the clock right now. There's no doubt about it. Point. Yeah, absolutely. It was an okay movie that was just out there and didn't like it. I understand, Monkey Jeebus. I do. Hey, Amber. So good to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Thinking about you and your guy.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, though, I mean, what did we expect? I mean, I guess the only other question would be, how do you think we would go if things were normal? Maybe. I mean, other than that, I don't know.
Well, okay, so let's take for rote what they have presented us with. The industry experts have said that there is about a 15 to 20% part of the audience that is not feeling safe enough to return to theaters. Okay. So would you say that those are the people that are paying the money for the Disney Plus access or watching this stuff on HBO Max?
Oh, I'm sure that's a good portion. And there's the other percentage of people who are just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with the theater, period.
Right.
But is that going to be enough to sustain a film? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Those are the kinds of things that, we don't really know. We won't really have an answer for a couple of years. And we already know that none of these streaming services are capable of showing a profit. And they won't for a very long time. I think now at this point that the 2024 year that Disney said they would be able to reach profitability, I think that's a pipe dream at this point. And I think HBO Max with its pairing with Discovery is more likely to get closer to that because they're a far more profitable entity because it costs far more. I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, very much is.
Yeah, you're right, Sour Monkey. It was created for an audience that didn't want it. You're 1,000%. Yeah, you're 1,000% right. China didn't. And yeah, that's what got everybody's interest, Bud Martin, was the appearance of Abomination in Shang-Chi. The Islington girl sends us a super sticker. Thank you for that very much. I appreciate you and all your support. And the little Shiba Inu dog. I love it. I love it. How's it going? Well, I'm actually a little under the weather, so we're going to keep this show short today because I need to lay down for a bit, I think. Hey, Eric Winberg, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, the CGI in Jungle Cruise does take you out of the film. There's no doubt about it. There's actually more than a few moments. And that's the problem now. How many times are they okay? You can give a film, and this is something that I think RMB and you and many other people that I listen to and I agree with. you have to, you as a film, you can only ask for one big thing. The big ask, it's one thing, right? Doing that multiple times in a film, it just it taxes your audience. I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not a fan of it. So I mean, I can understand why other people be pulled out.
Wow. This is an interesting question. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a movie. Mostly I'm just wondering if 6,000 lumen motorcycle headlights are overkill for a Power Wheels Jeep. I don't know, but your kid's going to love that. You're going to light up the world, my friend. Holy cow. Man, I love Power Wheels.
Make sure your kid don't kill themselves if they floor it.
That's true. Disney isn't getting $1 for me. Maybe in the future, when they actually make good stuff that doesn't piss me off. Kitty Berry, a lot of people share that sentiment now. Disney is not a good guy in the industry. I mean, they're the inside the business stuff. The more that I learn, the more disgusted I'm becoming with them as a company. Of all the studios, they're the least talent friendly, and other things. I'll get into that another time. Can't find the budget on Suicide Squad anywhere. Yeah, not marketing or production, nothing. Might be holding it back until they see how opening weekend goes. Yeah. Well, everything seems to cost $200 million now, except for Dune, which is $163 million. I'm interested in your perspective on Dune, Tom. Do you think it's going to succeed, or do you think it'll be one of these films that we call a flop?
I think it's going to surprise some people. I could be wrong, but I think it may. I think it may do pretty well. I noticed there's a lot of interest in it. It has the potential to do what Lord of the Rings did.
Wow, I hope so. I hope you're right. I love the books. I loved the not anywhere close to book accurate film that the crazy guy put together back in the 80s. Because Sting. I'm sorry, if you put Sting in a film and you don't, then even if he doesn't sing, I think it's a great film. I don't know. I want it to be good. All right, let's see. So Shang. So is aside from Spider-Man and Venom, are there going to be any successful Marvel releases this year?
Oh, if you're going with the rest of the year,
yeah.
I doubt it. I can't think of anything else that's coming out besides those. So I don't think there's a chance for anything to really perform all that well, to be honest with you, as far as that goes. But I mean, I'm hoping by the time even Venom hits theaters, things will be back to quote unquote semi-normal, if we can hope as much. Again, I mean, I don't see the box office being in as big a slump as other people do. A lot of these movies are just movies people don't want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not blaming the theaters on this, and or even people's desire to return to theaters, because I mean, even if we take that 20% number, let's say, that these industry people are saying that are people who are just too scared to go back to theaters, it's still got 80% of the audience, but you're not getting 80% of the box office. You're not even getting 50% of the box office. I mean, and you're having giant fall offs, right? So, and this is the other problem with these day and date releases. And this is something you and I pointed out before. I mean, and now I feel like there's a horse that we're beating to pieces that's, no longer with us. Anybody who wanted to see this film saw it. At least when we're referencing, I don't know, Jungle Cruise, Black Widow, those kinds of films, anything that was a day and date release, right? You're not getting repeat viewing, people back in the theaters. I've had this conversation.
This is a good point, because I heard Gary talking a little bit about this yesterday, and I kind of disagreed with him in the chat, but I don't think I said anything, but I think I messaged him about it. It's like, I think that the theater thing is more of a depending on your area, because like around here, theaters have been open the whole time,
right?
Same thing with other areas. I think it all just depends. Like on areas like California and stuff where they really want to make it look like a big deal, they are probably in New York and few other places. But for the most part, most places are open. And I mean, some are 50% capacity, like Islington Girl's saying here, but there's other places where I know they're completely open. Like they have no restrictions other than some may require a mask until you get set down in the theater or something like that. But like I said, the local theater here has been closed for the last 5 years and opened up during the pandemic. That was what was funny. They've been trying to sell the damn thing for years. That and the drive-in, and they opened them both up during the pandemic, and they've been thriving like every weekend.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, especially the drive-ins, man. The drive-ins that were still around and the ones that reopened, they were making bank. I remember going by there at night going, holy cow, that place has been open for years.
And they were showing more than just movies, right?
Yeah,
they had a Garth Brooks concert.
Yep.
They had a Stevie Nicks concert. I think 2 weeks ago it was, God, what band was it? I can't remember now. But yeah, they had all kinds of like concerts and other things that were not related to movies. So that's what I was saying before in the beginning of all this shit. Theaters will find a way.
Yeah, they will, and you know, there's always creative theater owners who go out.
They were here before the movies. They'll be here probably long after.
There you go. Yeah, and you can only ask for one thing: for the suspension of disbelief. Everything in a movie has to support that area, or it doesn't work. That's right, which is why a lot of time travel films don't work.
Yeah. And again, I like you Yeti Cast are saying there, like sometimes I can just ignore some things, but you know, if they're overdoing it at the same time, like that's what it sounds like with this Jungle Cruise, just way too, you know, and that's what's funny is this movie supposed to be based on a ride that you physically can go on and they physically have to do these effects.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little ironic? I mean,
it is, but there's a lot of irony in the film, dude. It's not, again, but most people can turn off their brain and check out, and I'm just not one of those. I guess Brutal Morningwood actually drives the Power Wheels. Power wheels. You guys are awesome.
Well, I mean, with that kind of a battery in it, you're probably better off.
Yeah, you're gonna put he's gonna put a Mr. Fusion in it, according to Brightest.
If you can figure that out, let us know.
That'd be awesome. I want one of those. Cruella did cost more than Dune.
Wow,
yes, it did.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Dune 163 million. Cruella 200 million, or right in that ballpark.
Wow. You know what? Dune might actually be more profitable than I expected it to be.
I think it'll break even, if not make a profit, which would bode well for those of us who want to see the second part of the film.
And considering it's probably a loss leader for Warner, hey.
Oh man, I hope it does bang up in the theaters. Yeah, I think a break even on Dune unless it becomes a cult hit. Yeah,
it might, but that's the thing, Mike, is it has the potential, right? Like, remember, if you're old enough to remember 20 years ago when Lord of the Rings came out, hardly anybody knew what the fuck it was. Like, you asked the normal person if they knew what Lord of the Rings were, and they would probably not know. And if they did, they would know it was a bunch of books they probably read in high school or avoided reading. That was the extent of it. And then a few people who were kind of somewhat aware of it, like most of them, if they had seen anything, it was probably The Hobbit. And that would be the animated Rankin and Bass.
Oh yeah, the great one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, the first one was Rankin and Bass, and then the next films.
Bakshi did one, and it didn't do well in the box office, and most people are completely unaware of that, which covers the first book and a half of the second book.
Yeah,
and then they never finished it.
Yeah, I remember that, the animation in that. Do you remember the entry animation in that with the silhouettes?
And I love the Hobbit.
Ominous music. It was so good.
It was on HBO Max for a while and fucking HD too, but it's not on there anymore.
Like, dang it! All right, well, I'll try and catch it next time. But yeah, this is probably a good description. I would call Jungle Cruise a combination of female Indiana Jones with Pirates of the Caribbean, with a little bit of Romancing the Stone, with of course. With some Jumanji and
Jesus,
I mean, it's a mess.
I was gonna say somebody else called it a mix between Pirates of the Caribbean and The Mummy.
Oh yeah, there is definitely some of that in there too. Which again, it's just so much CGI. Is Dune amortizing cost across the sequels?
I don't know.
I would expect so. I would expect that a lot of the cost here is getting some.
I don't know how the unions allow that to work, though. See, that's the thing. It's not like television.
Well,
right, like that's how
Peter Jackson did it.
Yeah, but he filmed all three of those at once.
That's true.
See, that's the thing, is that's where I'm saying I don't know how the union, that's where I think that comes in, because on television, it's a little different. Like you have seasons and you can amortize the costs of your sets over seasons, like Star Trek used to.
Well, but see, you still have all those sets, right? And going into the second film,
but usually they're broke down, and or you have to, depending on the union rules, if you're doing a whole new production, they may be forced to either pay to have it redone and or have to pay above cost to whoever did it initially to reuse it again. So that's the thing, is I don't know how movies work. If somebody on that part, if somebody knows better than me, please let me know. But like, because that's why, like, most prop departments, they own all the props.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask. Yeah, I'm gonna have
it's
to
a very, like, the unions make that shit. That's another thing why I pointed out before, like, you know, people are talking about the stars and the type of movies they make, they have to bring down the cost. And that's where I said, no, I think the bigger problem is going to be the unions.
Yeah,
because the unions where all the money goes, and
Yeah.
because it's not in the sense that they go straight to the unions, but what I mean is it's because they force you to hire 10 people to do one job. That's why movies cost so fucking much, and they have to do that because the unions force you to. You can't just have one guy to get the coffee and answer the phone in the office. You have to have 5 guys to do that job.
That's true. Yeah, and that's why films got more and more bloated and more expensive and all of that. But what's funny is right now, Tom, and there was a story this morning in one of the trades that the unions are, or maybe it was yesterday, the unions are flipping their beanie because they think that the studios are going to try to, you know, make up all their losses on the backs of the unions, which means, you know,
they probably should. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. I mean, look, I know the unions are there for a reason, and they do a lot of good stuff, but the reason movies cost so fucking much to make is because you have to have 10 people doing the same fucking job 1 or 2 people can do on a regular film. That's, you know, you're forced to have X amount of people doing this, X amount of people doing that, and they have to be hired through the union, and they have to be paid X amount. That's why independent movies can be done so cheap. They don't have to hire people from the union, and they can just get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that again. I mean, I always try to explain. Look, there's so much going on financially on a movie set you don't even know, because it's especially if you're on location. I mean, it's a small city. You have people that all they do all day is figure out the logistics for everything. You know, and you know, there used to be like dedicated producers that would handle that. Now it's a bunch of other humans, but it's insane. But I don't know.
No, I hear you.
If we can make a sci-fi, if you can make a sci-fi epic with that much CGI and effects for 160 million, Disney ain't doing it right now. They spend an extra 40 million.
Well, there's other places that stuff goes, and that's kind of what I'm saying between, you know, and then there's the other side of it where you really can't make these movies for less than like so much, especially when you have that much CGI, and Deadpool proved that. They tried to make it for 60 million, and then they got sued by their artists because they didn't pay them. So, you know, in the end, I think the bare minimum you can figure to spend on any one of these movies is 100 million easy if you got to do any kind of major CGI effects. And that's where I'm just kind of like, how is that even cost effective in the end?
It isn't. And that's, you know, right before you got here, I was talking about the fact that, because this is bothering me, we're going to get a Exorcist trilogy at $100+ million a film. I'm like going, that is stupid.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're putting some movie math in there.
Oh, no, for sure.
That's probably what they're telling the investors, so they get that much, because Gary J. Tunnicliffe, speaking of Exorcist, worked on the 4th Exorcist film. He worked on the 2nd version of it. And even though the studio reported that the movie cost like 100 million to make, it only ended up costing like 40 million to make.
Yeah.
Because they report all this excess bullshit. So look, like I said, it's movie math, right? Like, there's a give and take. And again, I always say a movie costs or makes however much depending on who the fuck's asking.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's the talent, anybody that's going to look for their residuals, royalties, whatever you want to call them, you know, they're going to say, "No, we still haven't made any money." And
not a dime.
Yeah, no, sorry. If they're, if it's the accountants that are having to answer to shareholders, they're like, oh no, we did really good on this.
It was the most successful film ever.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they did with Ghostbusters Forever. I love that story when you tell that one. Like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh, yeah. Well, my favorite one's the Men in Black one with Ed Sullivan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he has not gotten one dime from Men in Black. He was the writer on the original film. And because when the fourth film come out, he posted, fourth Men in Black movie coming out. But according to Sony, why would they want to do that? The first one's never made a dime.
Not $1. Not $1. Amazing.
Yeah, can you believe Men in Black never made it? I think that was the number one movie of 1997, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. Everybody saw it. I saw it twice in the theaters, man. I love that thing. God. But yeah, see, and yes, the African Queen is a given.
97 that came out, I think. Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, African Queen is a given with Jungle Cruise because that's what the attraction was based on in part. So Dune is going to lose money. Well, I still think it's going to break even. I think
that's going to be relative. Because even if it doesn't necessarily make its money back in the theater, like I said, it's a loss leader for HBO, right? Like that's what it was.
It is, yeah.
And
well, when you have the new studio exec or the new executive for the newly created $43 billion entity known as Discovery Warner came out and said, and quoted today in Variety, I believe, that big films are still going to the cinemas. They still intend to release films in the cinema. The cinemas are not dead. That's where films are going to go. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think that's kind of and that's kind of how I said things were going to go anyway. I mean, you're going to get your surprise movie. Well, sooner or later, we're going to get a surprise hit that's going to bring everybody's ass back to the theaters. It could be Dune, could be something 5 years from now.
Oh no, you're right. I mean,
I don't think it's going to be Avatar 2 though.
No, me either. Yeah, we can ask our.
Oh yeah, Robert would know. And again, I'm sure it all depends on the production as well.
Yeah, I don't know. SAG can get a production shut down. Yes, they can. Screen Actors Guild, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what just about any guild could.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gosh, the electricians guys they freaking shut down. I can't remember what it was. It was one of the television shows. They killed it. It took them like 4 weeks to get them back. I was like, good criminy. I'll try to remember that story, and because I think I probably even have an article about it from way back. But yeah, they shut down like a major television program for 4 weeks. It's like, okay, they're pissed.
Well, that's where that's where I think this is going to come to a head with the whole, like,
Yeah, Cruella did use a bunch of licensed music and a bunch of crap. I mean, you're starting to see less of that again because it's so costly.
Bet you Disney wish they hadn't given their music department away, huh?
Oh my God, dude, don't even get me started on that.
I don't know if they gave it away necessarily, but they amortized it.
Mortal Kombat, yeah, I can believe they spent about $55 million.
No, I've been looking for it since we brought it up. I cannot find the budget for Suicide Squad.
It's nowhere.
It is nowhere.
It hasn't been leaked. I can't find it. I can't find it in any of the resources that I have.
My guess then it's a lot cheaper than they're telling us then. Because if they would spend a bunch on it, they probably would be boasting it.
I don't know. Right now, isn't it in your best interest to not claim a budget because everybody will do
point? Yeah, regardless. Yeah.
I should say that.
But if I had to take a guess, I bet you this cost, even with the cast, I think that would probably be the most expensive part. I still bet they did it for about 100, 150.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Monkey Jeebus says, I got into an argument. Now, Monkey Jeebus was in the industry. I got into an argument with an AD and called my SAG representative, and they showed up and took a report and shut it down.
Yeah, I told you. It's the fucking...
Screen Actors Guild is crazy powerful. Crazy.
Yeah, the guilds and the unions, trust me, like I said, I'm not trying to put them down because, they do good in some ways, but yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
I believe you, man. And you just ask it, hey, yeah, he wanted to do a mouth off, so I made the call. Yeah, dude, talent in certain circumstances always wins. Always wins, my friend. Absolutely. I hope things are going well for you. Let's see. Soul Assassin asks, is there really a need for an Exorcist trilogy? No.
None of the films since the first one have
No.
been financially successful. Only one of the other films has ever been received well by the critics, at least, and the fans. They're doing this because Halloween. They got Ellen Bernstein coming back for some reason that only makes sense to them.
Yeah, instead of getting back the main actress. Oh crap, what's her name?
No, I just forgot her name too, dang it.
Crap, she's really pretty. She runs a dog rescue, a pit bull rescue. Yeah, she
said she never even was called, or she was called to know that this was done, this is going to happen, but they never asked. Linda Blair, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Jay.
Linda Blair, thank you. Oh my
they
god,
said that, but she said they never asked her to be a part of it, which I'm like, why not? If you're going to do this, the only way this makes sense is to bring her character in.
Yeah,
and what is Ellen going to do?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I mean, she can be that grandmotherly figure that, kind of helps guide someone else through this, insanity. Yes, there are a lot of people, the Islington Girl, I think, are willing to go through a lot to see this film in a theater. A lot of people want to see it. Mike Beats says, hopefully Avatar flops hard. I don't think Dances with Smurfs is going to do well.
I think it's going to finally, how everybody always tells Cameron his movies are going to flop. I don't know if anybody's told him to his face yet. He's probably hoping somebody will soon. This is going to be his first flop you watch.
Star Trek 14. Okay. I hope not. It's Sander Hammer.
I'm probably wrong. I'm sure Avatar will do just fine. I don't know why, but
I have hope for Dune. We need something. We do. Did they?
That's the thing, Sour Monkey. Since the last time it was supposed to be out in July, and I think they moved it to November now.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was supposed to be.
They initially had it for last year, obviously, and then they moved it to July 4th weekend, I believe, and then it got moved from there to November, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but they've moved all these movies so many gall darn times. I never know what's showing.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they moved it again. That's the thing. I mean, some of these films deserve a proper release and audience. We'll see. Yeah, actually, right now, LA is on the verge of doing some stuff with their productions again. This is not far-fetched, by the way.
Well, they have the Delta situation and all that stuff, so we'll see here what happens, yeah.
All right, Monkey Jeebus, well, my prayers are with you, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody found Linda Blair after our brains melted. Guy Indoor says, Exorcist 3 is great. I thought it was okay.
Oh, I love Exorcist 3.
Is Phantasm the next reboot? Gosh, I hope not.
There's two things that get in the way of that. Is his name Don Coscarelli? Is that the guy who made Phantasm? I don't think he'll let a remake happen, but then again, I shouldn't speak too soon. And J.J. Abrams is a huge fucking fan of the original, so if anybody was going to do it, it was going to be him. And he hasn't, so.
Well, he has that Warner Brothers deal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, though, if he was going to do it, he would have done it by now.
I don't know. Maybe it's in the background. I mean, he didn't.
It could be.
He
did pay for the 4K remastering of it.
Did he really?
Original, yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Captain Phasma is named after Phantasm.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Sander Hammerslag says Scream. It's a great film.
Well, they got Scream 5 coming out here this year.
When?
I think it's this fall.
I never saw that on the calendar.
Yeah, unless they pushed it to next year. It was done last I knew. Scream 5. Well, no, they moved it to 2022. You're right. They moved it to January. They dumped it to January.
Oh, no. That's when you don't release
George.
a film. That's not when you release a film.
January, though, has been pretty successful for horror movies. I will say that.
Well, recently, sure, but I mean, normally you dump.
Normally, that's a bad sign. That reminds me of Scream 3.
Yeah,
Scream 3. If you guys who don't remember, they moved that too for this because they had to do some reshoots.
Why is he making 16 more Avatar movies? I don't know.
Because he lost his lost his fucking mind. That's what.
Yeah. Well, he's got a
He
lot
should
of
have been
money.
lucky. He's been like, I got away with this. Like the last 2 movies, he's just gotten away with Titanic and Avatar. He should be like, all right, no more shit. I need to stick to regular shit.
Yeah, the first Exorcist just gives everybody
Perfect fucking film. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. Billy Zane and the Shadow Baldwin.
I'm surprised they haven't yet, to be honest with you.
They can't do another Exorcist. We don't have Richard Pryor. Well, there you go. I don't know that they could do that, Krusty Moko. Ghoulies?
Yeah, they could.
You think so?
I don't know who owns it anymore. I think John Carl Buechler bought the rights to it, but didn't he pass away?
Yeah.
I don't know who has them now.
I don't know. That's insane, though.
More like a whimper. What's scary is they got most of the cast back and shit. I can't believe they did it without. You can't have a Scream movie without Wes Craven.
Well, yeah. God dang. Wes Craven is certain movies. He just literally is those movies. You just can't.
I mean, and I've got a love-hate relationship with the Scream films because I actually love them, but I hate what they did to horror.
Right.
Because every movie after Scream was trying to be Scream.
Yeah, don't be your own thing, man. Do what I'm trying.
It wasn't until probably Final Destination where I felt like, oh, we finally kind of broke away from that a little bit.
I don't think
no, it was he named it after Phantasm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Ice Pirates. Yes. If anything,
they could remake Ice Pirates, yeah.
Yeah, or a sequel to it, right? Or yeah, I love that film. One of my
was
favorite.
that Robert Urich or was in that?
Yeah, it was so funny. Oh my god.
That's my earliest memory of seeing a movie in the theater, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And for years I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was.
And you probably couldn't identify with what that the space herpy thing was, right?
Oh, all I remember was I was like 4 years old and I kept calling it something else. And as I grew older, I forgot what the movie was called.
Right.
And I couldn't really remember anything about it except for the scene where what's his face who plays Hellboy. No, that was me, Sadie.
Oh, the big guy.
Perlman, Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman. Yeah,
where he got his hand zapped off in that fucking force field thing.
Yes.
And I just happened to Sadie. It was me. And I just happened to stumble upon it one day on like TBS. And it just so happened to be that scene. And I'm like, what is this movie? This is the movie. And I like watched the rest of the movie and they never said it pissed me off because they never said what the movie was. So I'm like, they didn't have like, this was before satellites and all that shit. It's like,
right.
I'm digging through the paper looking for like, Ma, where's the TV guy? Like, and I finally figured out what the hell it was. And I'm like, all right, Spice Pirates. I know what it is now. Yeah, it was awesome. So like then I went and bought the VHS that week and shit. So yeah, it was like ever since then I've had a copy. So
yeah, I love that film. I every once in a while if I need a chuckle, if I need to laugh at something silly, that's one of them. And I love that film, Time Bandits. There's a bunch of them that were like, just that kind of like not quite really for kids kind of things. But Matt G for $2 says Avatar is the definition of overrated. Yes, but it's the biggest movie of all time still.
It is still, well, technically, right? Even though you could sit there and technically say, yeah, there's a lot of technicals.
Okay.
Well, technically by tickets sold, it's still Gone with the Wind.
That's true. That's true. Mexican Iron Man for $5. Thanks, Mike. Listening in while working. I'm here for virtual diversity and representation. Okay, well, thank you.
Well, we're glad to have it.
Yeah, we need it.
Was it TNT, Sander? Maybe I saw it on it was either TNT or TBS. I don't even know if we had TNT yet. That's why I'm not sure. Like it was around, but we didn't get it till like they started like shit.
Yeah, TNT did show that regularly, and Space Truckers was interesting.
Space Truckers.
Yeah.
Critters sequel. Oh, there's been plenty of. They just remade. Oh, well, not remade, but they just did another sequel, and it sucked.
Yeah, Time Bandits was so good. This is another film you could remake now with the technology. It would be so good. You'd still do almost everything as practically as you could, but just think of what you could do now with Time Bandits. Man. And I know the perfect actor to lead the group of fellas. He was in Game of Thrones.
You talking about the Jon Snow dude?
No.
Oh,
although that would work too. Holy cow,
you're talking about Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, Dinklage. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, no.
Hey, at least I'm not like a sizist. I didn't go right to the little guy.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did because every one of those people are little people. It was really cool. So
short people got
roll tide.
Short Critters. People got no reason. They just came out with another Critters, as I was saying. Clay, avoid it. Don't watch the stupid TV series either. It was fucking dumb.
Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Let me put it this way: the last two Critters projects have made Critters 3 and 4 look like masterpieces.
That's not good. Thank you. Brazil was a really weird film. Holy cow! Did you see Brazil?
Years ago, and I don't remember which. I think I would have only seen the original theatrical cut because I think it was on VHS.
Oh man, it's
that's one I've not picked up again. To be honest, I should.
Yeah. A lot of people, Olivia and Makara, do that. Time Bandits and Ice Pirates because you saw them when you were little, yeah, and they were films you shouldn't have seen when you were little.
They came out near the same time period, and they were probably on cable all the time, I'd imagine. See, I didn't have HBO at that point, but I can imagine like they were on HBO and Showtime constantly.
Right. And Baron Munchausen came out like after that. I mean, there were a lot of these incredible films. So, it'd be hard to do Time Bandits without Terry Gilliam. That would be difficult. I think they could still do it.
I had a hair in my glasses.
You know what? Little people exist in the world. There are lots of little people.
Short people.
Oh, stop it.
I like that song.
I know. Me too.
Little hands.
Yeah, it wasn't Threshold.
Feet.
Oh, The Last Starfighter, they can't ever touch. That was
They're already working on a sequel, I thought.
I know, but it's a perfect film.
Though that seems like it's been in a bit of development hell, if you ask me, because they announced that like 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah, this is a weird thing to think about, Sour Monkey. Lord of the Rings is 20 years old.
So that's what I'm saying. We're due. We're due for something like that.
Okay, so all right. So again, pretty much everything that Disney's releasing, except for possibly their co-releases with Sony, is going to flop the rest of the year. Warner Brothers has maybe Suicide Squad. What else is on the horizon for them? Because we need to get close to wrapping this up.
Other than Suicide Squad, what's on the horizon for Warner, or just in general?
What do you think? And over the course of the next year,
you got a long time in there. Or you think just like till the end of the year? You mean?
Yeah, to the end of 2021. Yeah.
I think Suicide Squad's going to do okay. I think Dune will surprise. I think Ghostbusters will do. I don't know if it's going to do. It could surprise the piss out of us and do really, really well. But I think it's going to.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great.
No, I think the film will be fine, and I think it'll do okay financially. I don't think it's going to do nearly as well as they were hoping, just because, there's a lot of factors. They should wait, maybe. Honestly, I hate saying it because I want to see it just as much as everybody else. But I almost feel like if they would wait till Christmas or next summer, it'd be better for them. But we'll see. Outside of that, I don't know if anything else really has much of a shot. It's going to be give or take, and depending on the Spider-Man's going to do well. I think that this one is going to be one of the highest grossing, if not the highest grossing Spider-Man movie you watch. And it's going to that Spider-Man movie, between that or Lord of the Rings, Dune, will be the thing that gets people back to the theaters, I bet.
I think so. I think I feel good about it. It's like,
considering the positive reaction we got from the Venom trailer yesterday, when that Spider-Man trailer drops, and if it has Tobey Maguire in it, everybody's going to lose their mind. Like, it's going to be like, everybody's going to be like, freaking out and shit.
Suicide Squad.
Canadian Spider-Man says Spider-Man always does well, and he would know. He's the Canadian Spider-Man.
He is the Canadian Spider-Man. Free Guy probably will be make a
I
profit.
think that'll do well enough. I don't know how much it costs. I mean, it looks a little expensive. But...
The film that nobody knows anything about that I'm going to keep pumping up, Protege. The Protege. You guys have to see The Protege.
Never heard of that.
It's you gotta look it up, man. It's a
Who's
Lionsgate thriller. It has
it's Lionsgate Bomb Factory.
No. It has Maggie Q, Michael Keaton, and Samuel L. Jackson.
Huh?
It's gonna be good. Do check it out. And Candyman will make money. It was cheap to make.
Yeah, Candyman. I think they're doing themselves a disservice. If Tony Todd is in this film, like we've kind of been teased, they need to let it be known. Kind of like the Ghostbuster thing. It's like, don't hide this shit.
It kind of got out there. I mean,
exactly. Write it then.
I agree with you. Somebody needs to write it.
Because I mean, if you got Tony Todd back, you have the potential of not pulling Halloween numbers, but that's what I'm saying. Halloween surprised the fuck out of me and everybody else. Like, I knew it was going to do okay, but if you would have told me, even leading up to the day before that fucking movie came out, that movie was going to make more money than the entire Halloween franchise put together, I'd have laughed in your face. I'd have said you're insane. But it did, and I didn't care for the film, but I'm not going to bust its balls for doing what it did. Right. So that movie's going to do well. Don't forget about that one. That one comes out in 2 months too. Halloween Kills is going to kill it. It
is, but that's October 15th. Right before that, October 8th, do you know what comes out?
I know something does. Is that Shang-Chi?
No Time to See This Film. I mean, No Time to Die.
That's still coming out? I thought that wasn't coming until November.
Nope, October 8th, at least based on the stuff I got.
Shit, I got a lot of Bond movies to watch.
Yeah, you better hustle. Dune's October 22nd. So October got real packed real fast, right? You have 2 animated films on October 1st that hit the box offices. You've got Hotel Transylvania with Transformania, excuse me, and then you have The Addams Family 2, which is another animated film. You have October 8th, you have the much touted A24 production called Lamb and No Time to Die. On October 25th, which, by the way, No Time to Die is going to freaking tank hard.
It's going to get killed by Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween Killed comes out the next week. Halloween Kills is the 15th. And that thing's gonna run for the rest of the month. I think that thing will have traction through Halloween.
Honestly, that might do a lot better than we're anticipating. I don't think it's going to do nearly as well as the first film, but it's going to do good. The trailer sold it, because there's a lot of people who I know, like me, who didn't care for the first one, but they're like, "Oh, that trailer looks damn good." Of course, so did the first trailer. But.
Yeah, and there's something that we didn't mention that's going to bomb super hard is Cinderella. That comes out, and that one's kind of being hidden away. That's an Amazon Studios production, and that one is not getting released in theaters, although it was teased as being a theater release. It's not. It's just going to be on Amazon. So that thing's garbage. So that's why I'm not mentioning, or I didn't mention it, because it's not going into theaters. But Dune's October 22nd.
Did get some Blu-ray news, 4K news.
I'm trying to. Eternals is November 5th. That's when that thing dies.
Oh yeah.
And then the week later, the thing that's going to kick its butt is Ghostbusters Afterlife on November 11th.
I hope so. I really do. I hope that does well.
9 days or 8 days later, you get Top Gun Maverick on October 19th. Unless it got moved again. Is that the one we just said got moved?
Maybe. Top Gun, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
I didn't just get it's been moved a couple times now.
Let's see. I don't think West Side Story is going to perform very well. Musicals are not selling at the moment. Spiderman No Way Home is at the end of the year, December 17th. That will do fine. The 22nd, The Kingsman comes out. That will do very well, as will the Matrix 4 will do good the first week, but it's not going to be profitable. And that's it through the rest of the year. I don't know. Yeah. I like I said, I mean, I count maybe 4 or 5 films that'll be profitable. The rest of them are going to stink.
Yeah, that's probable. But we got some good Blu-rays to look forward to anyway.
Oh, what do we got? Give us the Blu-ray.
We got the original classic monsters. All first 4 films from Dracula, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, and the Wolf Man will be on 4K. Coming, I'm assuming this fall. Yeah, 10/5.
Oh, gosh, that's one of his best roles. I loved Wolfman.
And then, of course, speaking of wolves, we've got The Wolf of Wall Street will finally hit in October as well on 4K. Clockwork Orange is on the way. Some people knew about that as well. So there you go. That's the latest updates. Still waiting to hear on dates for things like Roger Rabbit and a few other ones. So
yeah, Martin Campbell did direct The Protege. Maggie Q is freaking awesome and will be able to play the character to the bone. Michael Keaton is great in the character role that he's playing. And of course, you have the great Samuel L. Jackson, who's awesome in pretty much everything. Plus, he's a bad mo effer. You know what? He didn't get to say that in Star Wars. I really wanted him to do that. So, sorry, go ahead with Blu-ray releases. I got distracted.
No, that's really all I got right now. We've been really waiting to hear on there's Clockwork Orange has been rumored for, or not Clockwork Orange, Citizen Kane has been rumored for a while. With Clockwork Orange, I think we've got almost all the Kubrick movies except for a handful in 4K now, at least the big ones anyway.
Yeah.
Some of his older ones like Lolita and a few of those.
How did they get all of that put together so well? I'm just curious.
On which one?
Clockwork.
I don't know. I'm assuming they just went back to the original negative. They did a beautiful job with 2001, considering what they had left to work with.
Yeah, that thing got messed up along the way. Yeah.
Well, it's an older film. And they didn't have non-fading film stock, and I guess they have struck so many prints over the years that the original negative was destroyed. So they had to go to like an answer print that's like a second or third answer print, but it's still gorgeous. Considering, but Clockwork, hopefully they can get to the original negative. I don't think that's been struck nearly as much. So as long as they can get their hands on the original negative, they look gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's 2001 was one of those weird films where because of the kind of filmmaker he was, you actually watched the people's feet. Nowadays, when you don't get people's legs in shots. And there were
some great shots just like off the front where you got those people just sitting there and talking, and they're like on the either side, and man. And the thing was, they struck it for so many like Cinerama prints and other shit like that over the years that it was just beat to hell, I guess. But
I'm looking forward. I'm gonna have to pick up one. So there you go. Rift Tracks is returning to theaters. Hopefully, did not know that. Didn't know anything about that. Why the hell wouldn't Ghostbusters come out a week or two before Halloween?
Yeah, well, again,
it got moved.
They're trying to. Well, I know what they're up to. They're trying to get the Thanksgiving weekend is what they're doing. Do I think this is a good move though? No. Usually Ghostbuster films come out in the summer. The first 2 films did.
That's true.
And so did the fucking stupid remake. And again, there's no reason for and I am with all of you who are like, I want this movie now. We should have had it a year ago. I agree with you, because it was supposed to be out last May or whatever. But I feel like Columbia doesn't, or Sony doesn't need to really push this. I'm surprised they are already. They really didn't have to, because this is not reliant on picking up off, like a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like a ticking time clock on when this movie should be out. And you can hold on to this movie for a while. I don't see the reason why not. But I just hope it's good, because I know Jason Reitman's been tinkering with it. I think some people are hopefully looking at it in the wrong light with the whole comedy and kid thing and comparing it to Stranger Things and all that stuff. I hope that's not the case. And yeah. I'm singing in the rain. I'm singing in the rain.
Yeah, 35 millimeter was
a big old dick.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Pretty well.
But I'm a dinosaur. I love film. Yeah, I miss good film. I mean, Matt G saw 2001 in IMAX in 2018. Yeah, I'm looking forward to something good. So, but with that being said, we went about 15 minutes longer than I had thought we would get. Because I'm seriously seriously under the weather, kids. I had a lot of fun today. Tom, thanks for joining me, my friend.
Well, hopefully you feel better, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a combination of a lot of things.
Singing in the rain.
That was so great. What a great
Clockwork Orange is fucking amazing balls.
Oh God, so well done. And again, we can't make films like that anymore.
Oh hell no.
Apparently. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with me, kids. I'm just not there. No, it's nothing serious. I promise. I'm right as rain mostly.
Now, if Alex was Blasian and trans, then maybe.
No. All right, guys. Tom, anything you want to promote?
Then he would definitely be the victim in that story.
Okay. Oh, Darius Munchausen gets under the wire with $1.49 box of popcorn.
Sadie is just upset about something.
Yeah. What did you do?
I don't know. Ever since I tapped on the desk, she's been just jumpy. She's expecting somebody at the door, I guess.
Oh, all right. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm fine. I'll be all right. I appreciate all of you being here. You guys are the best. You support Tom and I everywhere. Speaking of which, Tom, promote what you're doing later, because I know you're doing something.
We got Midnight's Edge After Dark coming up later. I suppose if you're feeling better, you may be there. If not, I'm sure we'll have you on there another time.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, if I feel better, I'll let you know. You know that.
Other than that, we've got the morning show tomorrow, and I believe we have Tom Conkle.
Oh, Tom and Tom tomorrow. I love that. That'll be good to listen to. Yeah.
Other than that, that's about it. I'm working on a Motu video.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, he's got another editorial coming up.
Well, let me tell you, the story is not getting better.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not sounding like it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the video the way I always do, our live stream anyway, and say, be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Scene.